for two sets A and B, the cardinality of A union B is equal to cardinality of A plus cardinality of B minus cardinality of A intersection B. This you have already done back in class 8. We'll majorly be discussing cardinality for theorem for three sets. So for three sets A, B, and C, cardinality of A or B or C, which is also written as A union B union C, is equal to cardinality of A plus cardinality of B plus cardinality of C minus cardinality of A intersection B minus cardinality of B intersection C. Minus cardinality of C intersection A plus cardinality of A intersection B intersection C. This is the cardinality theorem for three sets. You need to remember both this and this. Okay. Majorly, we'll be discussing this. Okay. Cardinality theorem for three sets. Now, based on this, we'll be solving these two problems. Okay. Let's see how to solve. Let's see the first question. In a class of 50 students, 15 read physics, 20 read chemistry, 20 read mathematics, 3 read physics and chemistry, 6 read chemistry and mathematics, 5 read physics and mathematics, and 7 read none of the subjects. How many read all the subjects? So to represent this with the help of a Venn diagram, we have three circles. Okay. Let us call these sets people who read physics. Let us call the set number of students who read physics. In fact, the set of students who read physics be P. The set of students who read chemistry be C. And the set of students who read mathematics be M. Okay. Let's label this in the figure. In a class of 50 students, so that means the universal set, cardinality of the universal set is 50. How many read physics? Physics, 15 read physics. So we label 15 here. 20 read chemistry. So we label 20 here. And 20 also read mathematics. Okay. And 3 read physics and chemistry. So 3 we'll write just at the junction here. Okay. And 6 read chemistry and mathematics. So we'll write at the junction here of the two circles, 6. And 5 read physics and mathematics. So 5 read physics and mathematics. We'll write 5 here. Okay. And 7 read none of the subjects. None of the subjects we are going to write here. 7 read none of the out of the 3 circles. Okay. How many students read all the subjects? So all the subjects, let us call the number of students read all the subjects Ex. So we write X here. So let the number of students who read all the subjects be X. Okay, so therefore, what can I say? Cardinality of P intersection C intersection M is equal to X, right? Also, what are the various cardinalities given? How many students read physics? 15 read physics. Cardinality of P is 15. Cardinality of C is given to be 20. Cardinality of M is given to be 20. Cardinality of P intersection C, those who read physics and chemistry, given to be 3. cardinality of P intersection M is given to you as 5, and cardinality of C intersection M is given to you as 6, right? So therefore, what is the cardinality of, therefore, number of students who read either physics or chemistry or mathematics is equal to cardinality of P union C union M, right? And from cardinality theorem, what do we know? Cardinality of P plus cardinality of C plus cardinality of M minus cardinality of P intersection C minus cardinality of C intersection M minus cardinality of P intersection M plus cardinality of P intersection C intersection M. This is what we know from cardinality theorem. Put the values here. Cardinality of P is 15, C is 20, M is 20 minus 3 minus 6 minus 5 plus X. So these are the number of students who read either physics or chemistry or mathematics. So this should come to 55, and this should come to 14 plus X. So what you're getting here is 41 plus X. This is the number of students who read either physics or chemistry or mathematics. And how many students read none of the subjects? There are 7 students who read none of the subjects. So number of students who read either of the subjects and number of students who read none of the subjects must be equal to the total number of students, cardinality of the universal set. So therefore, what can I write? Therefore, cardinality of the number of students who read either physics or chemistry or mathematics plus number of students who read none of the subjects is 7. So plus 7 is equal to cardinality of the universal set. Okay, so now put the values and solve for X, you will get the value. Cardinality of the universal set here is given to you as 50. Okay, so you get X is equal to 2. So 2 students read all the subjects. Clear with this problem or any question?
Yes, sir, clear.
Move on to the next problem then. Okay. So in this, let's read what the problem states and represent it in the Venn diagram, and then we can solve the problem. In a survey of population of 450 people, so that means the cardinality of the universal set is 450. It is found that 205 can speak English. So let us call the set of people who can speak English be E. And 210 can speak Hindi. So let's call the set of people who can speak Hindi be H. And 120 can speak Tamil. That means let us call the people who can speak Tamil be T. If 100 people can speak both English and Hindi, that means 100 people, let's label it at junction here, 100, can speak both Hindi and English. 80 speak both English and Tamil. So let's label it at a junction here. And 35 can speak both Hindi and Tamil. So 35 is here. Okay. And 20 can speak all 3 languages. So 20 will come at the common part of the 3 circles. Okay. Find the number of people who speak neither of the languages. Okay. I have not labeled the part where how many people can speak English. So how many people can speak English? 205. So 205 people can speak English. Okay. And 210 can speak Hindi. Okay. And um, 120 can speak Tamil. Okay. So now the question here is find the number of people who can speak neither of the languages. That means who can speak none of the languages. Let us call this X. Let the number of people who can speak none of the languages be X. Let the number of people speak none of the languages be X. Okay. So if 20 people can speak all three languages, that means how many can speak Hindi, English and Hindi only? Number of people um, who can speak English and Hindi. Okay, instead of this, let's do it this way. Let's write down what is given here. So therefore, cardinality of E intersection H intersection T is equal to 20, right? All those who can speak all three languages. Okay, and what else is given? Cardinality of E is given to be 205. Cardinality of H is given to be 210. Cardinality of T is given to be 120. Okay, also what is given? Cardinality of E intersection H, those who can speak English and Hindi, is given to be 100. Cardinality of H intersection T, number of people who can speak Hindi and Tamil, is 35. And number of people who can speak English and Tamil is equal to 8. Okay. So this is what is given. So number of people who can speak either English or Hindi or Tamil. Therefore, number of people who can speak Hindi or English or Tamil is equal to, let me write here, is equal to cardinality of E union H union T. From cardinality theorem, what can you write? Cardinality of E plus cardinality of H plus cardinality of T, E intersection H minus H intersection T minus E intersection T plus cardinality of E intersection H intersection T. Put the values. Cardinality of E is 205, 210, 120, 100, 35, 80, 20. So let's add these up. If you add up the plus signs, you get 537. Add up the negative signs, you get 215. So you get this as 322. Okay, this number of people can speak either Hindi or English or Tamil. Okay, so the number of people who can speak Hindi or English or Hindi or Tamil plus the number of people who speak none of the languages must be equal to the total number of people, 450. So therefore, cardinality of E union H union T plus none of the languages is equal to cardinality of the universal set. Now just put the values. You get 322 plus X, and the cardinality of the universal set here is 450. That means X is equal to 450 minus 322 is 128. That's it. These are number of people who can speak none of the languages. Okay, any question here in this?
No, sir.
And we can proceed to the next part then, which is ordered pairs in case of sets and the Cartesian product of sets. First, we'll define what is called as the ordered pairs. For an element, if for two sets, for an element A belongs to A, B belongs to B, the doublet AB written in this manner, just like you write your coordinates. Coordinates is also an ordered pair actually, ordered pair of real numbers. So the doublet AB is called an ordered pair of A and B. Okay. Why only ordered pair? You can have an ordered triplet also. In this case, you can have three sets. The triplet is called an ordered triplet of A, B, and C. Okay, this is what is meant by ordered pairs. Now you have only one property of ordered pairs, that two ordered pairs can be equal if and only if the corresponding elements are equal. A must be equal to C and B must be equal to D. So that means if you know this, you can write this, and if you know this, you can write this. That is what this sign means. Okay, this is the only property of ordered pairs that you can remember. Okay, this is ordered pairs. Now we next come to the concept of Cartesian product of sets. Yes, for two sets A and B, the Cartesian product A cross B is defined as A cross B is a set of all the ordered pairs AB, where A is an element of A and B is an element of B. Okay. I'll come to an example for this. Also, if you are writing the product in this manner, B cross A, then the ordered pair will be BA, B belongs to B, and A belongs to A. Example. If I give you a set A is equal to 1, 2, and if I give you a set B is equal to A, B, C, then now the concept of ordered pairs is very important. So understand this very well, because we'll be needing this later on also when we will be doing relations. So A cross B. If you want to find out A cross B, then this will be a set of all the ordered pairs that can be formed with the elements of the sets A and B. So A cross B, write the element of A first and then the element of B. So 1A. Next again 1B, 1C. Pair it with all the elements. Okay. Next you come to 2. So 2A, 2B, 2C. Right? So what do you see? What do you see here? Can you hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see that I have paired all the elements of A and B. If you want to find out B cross A, then you will write the elements of B first. So A I write first and then the element of, so A1 will be one ordered pair, A2 will be the other ordered pair. Okay. Similarly, you pair B with 1 and 2, and then you pair C with 1 and 2. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So what you see here is that A cross B contains how many elements? This contains 6 elements, right? Also, this contains 6 elements, right? So if cardinality of A is equal to M and cardinality of B is equal to N, then what can I say about the cardinality of A cross B and B cross A? A cross B and B cross A must contain M into N elements. Okay, remember this multiple choice question? Be okay. So let's proceed with the next exercise once you have understood this. Okay, number 1. If the ordered pairs x minus 2, 2y plus 1 and y minus 1, x plus 2 are equal, find out the values of x and y. So it is given to you that these two ordered pairs are equal. So given x minus 2, 2y plus 1 is equal to y minus 1 and x plus 2. That means from the property of ordered pairs, what do we know? That the corresponding elements must be equal. So x minus 2 must be equal to y minus 1 and 2y plus 1 must be equal to x plus 2. Okay. So from this, you will get x minus y is equal to 1 and you will get x minus 2y is equal to minus 1. Call this equation number 1 and call this equation number 2. So solving 1 and 2, simultaneous equation, solve them. We get x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 2. That's all. Okay. Second question. Given the sets A and B, A, B and C, 3 sets are given. So A here is given to be XYZ. B is given to be AX. C is given to be A1 X. Okay, you need to find out A cross B intersection A cross C. So let's first find out A cross B. Therefore, A cross B is equal to the Cartesian product of these two sets X, Y, Z taken with AX. So you write down all the ordered pairs here of A cross B. What are the ordered pairs? XA, X, XX. Two X's are there. Then you'll have YA. Then you'll have YX. Then you have ZA. And then you have ZX. Okay, this is A cross B. A cross C is the Cartesian product of these two sets. I write down all the ordered pairs. Okay, these are the set of all the ordered pairs in A cross C. So therefore, what should be the intersection of these two sets? A cross B. This is the first question, right? A cross B intersection A cross C. What is the common element between these two? If you see, the common elements are XA, which are there in both the sets. XX is also there in both the sets. YA is there in both the sets. YX is there in both the sets. ZA is there in both the sets. And ZX is also there in both the sets. So that answers your, okay, this is not one. This is the only question that you have. Okay. So A cross B intersection A cross C. So that finishes this question. Moving on to number 3. Given A here is equal to 1, 2. B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. C is equal to 5, 6. And also D is given 5, 6, 7, 8. You need to verify these two. Okay, that is A cross B intersection C is equal to A cross B intersection A cross C. So first of all, let us find out B intersection C. B intersection C, if you see nothing common between B and C, so B intersection C is a null set. So left hand side, A cross B intersection C is the A cross A intersection null set, which is equal to a null set. Okay. This is now let's find out A cross B is Cartesian product of these two sets. So A cross B is 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1. This is A cross B. Okay. And next we find out A cross C. This is A cross C. So what is the RHS? A cross B intersection A cross C. Can you see any common element between these two? There are no common element between these two. So therefore, it's equal to a null set. Okay. Hence, therefore, LHS is equal to RHS. Hence, verified. Okay. Let us do the next one. Number 2. A cross C intersection B cross D. A cross C is you will have 4 ordered pairs. Okay. A cross C and B cross D. B cross D is so write down all the ordered pairs in B cross D. This is what you have as B cross D. Now, if you see A cross C, all the elements are there. If you see 1 5, 1 5 is also here. 1 6, if you see 1 6 is here. 2 5, 2 5 is here. 2 6, 2 6 is here. So all the elements of A cross C are there in A cross B. So A cross C is a subset of B cross B. Hence verified. Clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Moving on to the last part of this question. Number 3. A cross B union C is equal to A cross B union A cross C. So A cross B we have found above. Okay, let's first find out B union C. Let's first find out the left hand side. B union C. B union C between these two sets is the elements of A or B. If you see the set B and C, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is B union C. So therefore, A cross B union C is 1, 2 taken with okay. So write down all the ordered pairs here. Okay, these are all the ordered pairs. You have to verify that this is equal to A cross B union A cross C. I think I've already found out A cross B and A cross C. So A cross B union A cross C. Both these I have found out above, right? So A cross B is 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, and 2 4. This was A cross B we found out above. Taken the union with A cross C. A cross C we have found out above. Okay. So the union of these two sets, if you take, this will come out to be okay. So therefore you see that A cross B union C is equal to A cross B union A cross C. Hence verified. That's it. Only one question is left. I'll finish this question tomorrow. I'll stop here.